Hey y'all, and welcome to Politbrawl. My name is Brian, and the situation with the Secret Service basically fumbling at their own job is so bad that even Democrats are now calling them out. This is a wild clip, and before we dive in, we are sponsored here on Politbrawl by Colonial Metals Group. If you want to protect your hard-earned money against Bidenomics and Biden inflation, invest in Colonial Metals Group, who will back up your wealth with gold, silver, and other precious metals. Now, let's go.
Director Cheatle, as you know, the shooter began shooting at 6:11 p.m. Eastern on July 13th. NBC reported that at 5:51 p.m., 20 minutes before the shooting began, the state police informed the Secret Service of their concern. Now, the rally was not paused at that point, correct?
No.
And according to NBC, just 2 minutes later, at 5:53 p.m., the Secret Service notified its snipers about the gunman. The rally wasn't paused at that point either, correct?
No.
Let me show you some video footage by rally goers. If you could play the video on the screen up here. This was taken 2 minutes before the shooting started. If you could turn up the volume.
Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher
He's
than
up now.
it happens.
You went right on the roof again.
Up here.
Ma'am, that doesn't look like suspicious behavior. That looks like threatening behavior to me. And the rally wasn't paused at that point either, correct?
I can tell you, as I stated earlier, sir, that the moment that the shift surrounding the president were aware of an actual threat.
That's a threat right there. The guy's on the roof and everybody's yelling at him.
Yes.
And directing the officer's attention to him. The rally was not paused at that point, correct?
We are currently still combing through communications and when communications were passed.
Well, I can point you to this communication. It's 2 minutes before the shots started ringing out. Director Cheatle, yes or no? Was there ever a moment where the Secret Service actually considered pausing the rally?
The Secret Service would have paused the rally had they known or been
So the
told
answer is
there
no.
was an actual threat.
The answer is no. Correct?
I can speak to you in generalities.
No, I don't want generalities. I
know
want
all of the
specifics.
communications
The
that were-
answer is no. You did not consider pausing the rally, correct?
The people that are in charge of protecting the president on that day would never bring the former president out if there was a threat that had been identified.
Well, they did, because we've now identified 3 points in the 20 minutes before the shooting that the threat emerged.
I can't believe it. There's a really cynical side of me that I can't believe, and I'll get to that later, but the issues with the Secret Service being bad at their jobs on that fateful day in Pennsylvania, it's gotten so bad that even Democrats in Congress are now speaking up and speaking out against it. And this guy's calling her out, basically saying, someone fumbled this, all right? You knew what your own protocols were, but you, in your infinite wisdom, and not Cheatle herself, she's the one that needs to do the investigating, she's the one that needs to get to a bottom of this. I doubt she will. But she was not directly responsible for planning the security at the rally. So apparently, the issues with the Secret Service were they had a lot of their forces divided, and their crack team, not that kind, their best team was actually protecting Jill Biden in an event also in Pennsylvania. They were pretty near each other at the time. And so she got the good crew, whereas Trump got the late shift. He got the skeleton crew. You've all seen the memes of that rather short and portly woman that failed to do her job and was cowering behind the other Secret Service members. We've all seen that photo. But someone fumbled this. Someone, in their wisdom of planning this whole event, said, hey, this one elevated building in the area with a clear line of sight in between the woods and the rally, we're just going to leave it undefended. Y'all, times are rough. Record inflation is still not under control. We have a president who doesn't know what planet he's on. And the Federal Reserve continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. You can gamble on Wall Street all you want, but if you want to diversify and protect your wealth, you need to look into my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. These amazing experts understand how to keep your wealth safe and protected from the volatility of our current market. And there's even a great deal for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver-backed IRA accounts, insurance on whatever precious metals you happen to buy for 5 years, up to $7,500 worth of silver, and a nice safe for you to keep all this good stuff in. So go take a look at their website, link in the description below, or call the phone number below so you can talk personally to Paul Stone, CEO, and his amazing team of experts to protect your wealth today. Whoever made that decision, that's the person that needs to be fired. Because you don't, in almost every single instance, you don't give up the high ground, all right? Obi-Wan Kenobi was right. He had the high ground. You don't give that up. You needed someone just sitting and waiting on the roof. That's what sentries are supposed to do. And that is the best spot in the area for some deranged person to walk up, use a ladder, carry a rifle, and go bang. Because that's exactly what happened. All right, this kid just decided, yep, I'm going to be famous for the rest of my life. Or famous, he's going to be immortalized, basically. And the worst part isn't the fact that this has been so preventable. It's the fact that it happened at all. And of course, leftists saying the quiet part out loud and saying that they wish that, under their breath, they wish that shooter hadn't missed. That's been just an eye-opening experience. I know left-wing Twitter is crazy, but a lot of people outed themselves that day. So ultimately, this was a failure of planning, communication, and Cheatle is getting grilled for it. She's the one that's having to take the heat. I'm not sure it's her fault, but it's her job to find out who had that lapse in judgment and fire that person. It's really just that simple. But here's to my cynical side. The only real reason this Democrat from Illinois is even grilling her on this in any capacity is because they know that the Secret Service would be protecting a Democrat president as well, and maybe potentially themselves should they ever run for office. Yeah. There's a really selfish reason for, saying the right things, asking the right questions. That's ultimately one of the Democrats' biggest issues. There are so many selfish people that they will keep good questions to themselves unless it benefits them and benefits their side. Now they've realized that this is a two-edged sword, so they can come out and speak on the issue. But y'all, I never thought I'd be out here complimenting a Democrat. Well, except for Lucy McBath. I actually have a lot of respect for her, even though she wants to take away my Second Amendment rights. There are good people in the Democrat Party. There are. I've worked with some amazing left-wing people. But when a Democrat whose party line has been Orange Man bad for the past, 8 years now, comes out and basically says, Secret Service, you screwed up and someone needs to be fired. That shows that there's been an avalanche of a shift and people are now seeing the after effects. And it is a glorious thing to watch. Ultimately, I wish the Democrats had cared more about the truth to begin with, but to quote Ann Coulter, Democrats had any brains, they'd be Republicans. Oh, man. Anyways, I think that's all I have for you today. The Secret Service story gets weirder and weirder the more we look into it. And it's like finding a cave system and it just keeps going and going and going. I have no idea where this is going to end up. But ultimately, the person who planned the security for the event really needs to be fired. And that's exactly what Ms. Cheatle should do in her capacity. She shouldn't resign. She should take the heat for it. Absolutely. But I don't think this was her fault. I think this was the fault of the guy who planned the meeting. Anyways, that's all I got. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.